Hello and welcome to One Cool Thing, PC Mag's daily show where we show you one cool thing which we are testing out here in the PC Mag Labs. I'm Sasha Segan, this is Jim Fisher. We have an amazingly cool thing on the show today which we will get to in a minute. It is a 100 megapixel, $50,000 camera. Yes, you heard me right, a $50,000 camera. We will get back to it in a minute, but for now I have to do the intro, which is to tell you that if you are watching us live on Facebook, welcome. Social Pete is here to take your comments and questions. And please do comment and ask us questions. Jim is, of course, our camera expert. I know about phones and tablets and random tech stuff. If you're watching us later on YouTube, then please like and subscribe. Consider coming over to Facebook at 10 a.m. Eastern on weekdays for our cool things. Now, you are here, we are here, this is here, and this is a truly unique, cool thing. Today, this is a 100 megapixel, $50,000 medium format camera that gets 4.5 stars in Editor's Choice. Jim, what is this thing?
This is the Phase One IQ3 100MP Trichromatic. And the trichromatic is what we want to pay attention to here, because we've looked at Phase One systems before. I looked at the achromatic last year, which is the same 100 megapixel sensor, but without any sort of color filter, so it's black and white only and infrared sensitive. And a couple years ago, we looked at just the normal XF 100 megapixel IQ3 back, which is your standard bare filter 100 megapixel color sensor. This uses a bare filter, but it is a stronger filter that better narrows the wavelength of the light it collects at each photo site, so you have truer color coming in. You're still interpolating data to get the full color image from the mixing pixels and the RGB sensor pattern, but you're getting stronger resolution because of the stronger filtering. You're getting less false color. You don't get the purple fringing that you do in some lenses that you have to remove and capture one. And it's basically selling for the same price that the IQ3 100 megapixel used to sell for. Mm-hmm. So you're getting a better sensor for the same price. The previous version we looked at is available now for $46,990, and for $3,000 at this, when you're talking this level price, I would go for the higher end.
Now let's take this. Let's not physically take this system apart, but conceptually take this system apart.
We can take it apart physically.
And okay,
the back comes off, the viewfinder comes off. We can do all that fun stuff.
Okay, so what are the key elements of this system? What's optional? What's replaceable and removable? And what kind of lenses does it work with?
Well, you can go a couple different ways with the system. You can buy the back only. Whoops.
You just took a picture.
I just turned it on. Okay. Sorry, I'm fumbling here. I was getting the back off is a two-button operation. That's fun. Okay. If I can do it.
So you can buy only the back.
You can buy only the back. You know, this is always more. There we go.
There we go.
All right. You can buy only the back. Look at the size of the sensor.
Yeah. Wow.
It's real big. Had little dust spots on there anyway. I noticed when I was doing my images, I had to clean off some dust. It comes with a cleaning kit though, in the kit. So you can buy only the back, and you can use the back with technical cameras, large format. You can buy this in an H mount for use with certain Hasselblad bodies, or you can buy the system. And the back itself is about $5,000 less. I think it's $44,990 for the back itself.
And now, just buying the back, does that get you all the advantages that you were talking about in terms of
you get the 5-year
color?
Yes. You'll get that's where the sensors. That's where all the tech lays. Or you can buy it for the full price with the body, the XF body, which has very tight integration with this back, and your choice of any lens. Okay. This is the 80 millimeters. This is the standard lens. I think it sells for like $2,000 on its own. But Phase One has lenses that cost more than $5,000. So you can, if you buy the full kit and you want to get one of the pricier lenses, that's the way to go. And we should also talk about the price here. You don't see a lot of these on the used market because Phase One has kind of that dealer relationship with its customers. So if you're already a Phase One customer, you know this, you can talk to your sales representative and talk about trade-ins and all that and work on price.
Now this is more expensive by a factor of 10 than even a lot of the higher end cameras we've done on One Cool Thing before, we're talking, you know, $50,000 as opposed to we pretty often see $3,000 or $4,000 cameras.
3, 4, you know, medium format starts around 5,000.
Okay.
For a smaller sensor at 50 megapixels.
And so I have to ask, who is this for? Who is buying a $50,000 camera?
Very high-end portrait, fashion, landscape, wedding photographers. People who can bill that and make up the money for the system, and you know, are charging exorbitant fees for their work because their work is so good, and they want to set themselves apart from people just using full-frame systems by using the larger sensor with the shallower depth of field and the you know, super high-resolution lenses and all that.
Let's take a question here.
How durable is it? Someone's asking to drop it.
No, we're not going to drop it. It's not drop proof. It is not weather sealed. It is an aluminum body, aircraft grade, whatever that means. But it's one of those marketing terms that gets thrown around. It's very sturdy. I mean, I traveled with this. It was in my backpack.
It sounds like the answer is it is sturdy enough, but treat it with care.
Yeah, you don't want to. It's not a GoPro. It's a tool. But it's a tool that is built for working photographers who are going to take this on location and use it and maybe even abuse it. It does ship when you buy the system with a hard rolling case from Pelican that's carry-on approved.
Now, in terms of in terms of where and the context where you use it, I feel like we need to talk some about the weight and how you're going to want to mount this and how you're going to want to carry it.
When all is said and done with this lens on, it's like 5.5 pounds. With heavier lenses, it can cross 6 to 7 pounds. Like I had the 35 millimeter wide angle with me when I was traveling with this, and that's a beast of a lens. You can hand hold it for short periods of time, depending on how good your arm muscles are. It's not, and I'm more of a handheld photographer. This is something where if you're shooting landscapes, it's better to break out the tripod, especially for long exposures. You can do up to an hour exposure timed in camera. And because the base ISO is 35, you can even do kind of longer exposures during daylight without having too much without having too much neutral density on the lens. I was able to take one shot in daylight of a waterfall at a rhododendron garden in Portland, and I did I think like a third of a second or half-second exposure at ISO 35 under a bright sun.
Let's take a question, then we can cut over to some of your photo examples.
What sort of battery life is there?
I actually traveled with this for about a week and didn't change the batteries out. It's really good. It uses 2 batteries. You get 4 with the package. They have power sharing with the XF body, so you can hot swap out either battery at any time and still keep the system running. And the charger that the camera ships with charges 2 batteries at once. I mean, as long as this doesn't do video, so that's a big battery sap that's not included. The sensor readout is not fast enough for that. It does have live view, and you can use a fully electronic shutter, so there's no vibration. If you want to, you can also shoot mirror lock up with the shutter in the lens, which reduces vibration as well, because there's no mirror slap. It's just a little tiny shutter there, and the body has a focal plane shutter as well. So you have many shutter options here. But if you're using the optical viewfinder and just framing up a shot without going into live view or reviewing too much, that doesn't use much power at all.
Okay, let's cut over to some of the photo examples, some of the shots that you took with this camera, and you can talk about and it's kind of ridiculous because we're showing it in a very low res, very JPEG compressed way.
And it's JPEG compression uploaded to our website, and our website can only take a 1 megabyte image.
And these
are
I'm resizing 120 megabyte images.
The raw files are 120 megs. The JPEG full size exported from Capture One were 50.
So we're looking at 1/50th of the data that should be here.
So I mean, this gives you an idea of what the color's like and what the depth of field and things, but you're not getting the full resolution look from the sample images. We do have full resolution crops of our test scene in the slideshow.
Okay, but maybe you can talk a little about some aspects of this image which show the strengths of the camera. Or should I go down to the rhododendron?
Well, we can talk about this. This is a long exposure I shot from an overlook outside over the Golden Gate Bridge. And it's a 1 minute exposure in camera, shot at ISO 35, I think probably F11, F8, somewhere in that range. And one of the things I'm able to do here is, just when I zoom in on that image in full resolution, you see this little thing right here, that
Yeah.
little blur,
Yeah.
that's actually like a little gatehouse building, and you can make out detail
Wow.
in there in the full resolution shot. I mean, it's just incredible amount of data that's coming into this camera and picture image information.
So, scrolling down,
This is a great shot for
Yeah.
texture. The full resolution, you can see the grain and the rock and the roughness of the stone in the shot. Plus, you've got the blue sky pops and the greens, and you've got the ocean water and the sand here. This is just a nice look at see the way the camera draws color. And this is with minimal adjustments in Capture One. This is the color you're getting right out of the camera.
let me get to the rhododendron one, because we were mentioning it earlier.
Right, this was a long exposure during day, and the reason I wanted to do a long exposure here is because the waterfall. I wanted to smooth that out. So I think I have to look at the EXIF data to see exactly how long the exposure is, but it's something like a third of a second, a half second.
Now, I'm surprised that, I'm surprised and impressed that it was a calm enough day that you're not getting noise or trouble around the plants moving.
Yeah, no, the wind wasn't blowing, and where this is located, this is kind of down below in a hollow almost, so the wind is probably not a big issue at that particular location.
Okay. Any more questions out here?
Did you say whether or not this is the most expensive camera we've ever tested? Or
It's not. The achromatic, the black and white version of this camera, I think is $5,000 more. And that would be the most expensive piece of gear I've called in for a loan.
So now, talking about this versus the achromatic, one thing I'm wondering about is, does putting the color filter on the sensor here reduce its ability to capture light?
Yes. Yes, you
So
have.
what's the difference between this and the achromatic on that?
The achromatic base ISO I want to say is 200, and this is ISO 35, and the achromatic ranges up to I think the 51.2 or 25.6, and this tops out at 12,800. This does show more noise at high ISO at 3,200 and up than the standard IQ3 100 megapixel, the one with the normal traditional color filter, and that is the disadvantage you're looking at if you are a photographer who shoots medium format and often shoots in the higher end of the ISO range. You're probably better off sticking with the standard IQ3 100 megapixel, or Phase One has a budget option of the 100 megapixel, the older 100 megapixel sensor we looked at, called IQ1, which doesn't have Wi-Fi in the back. It doesn't have as tight integration with the body, and it's missing a few other things. And that sells for, as a kit, $36,000.
Okay. Do you have any examples of high ISO imagery in the story or in your sample images?
In the slideshow, the crops, the ISO test scene crops, there are some, yeah.
Okay.
But I was shooting mostly at the lower end of the range just for the work I was doing. Because in available light and darker conditions, I was doing longer exposures at ISO 35.
And so now we're giving this, even though that's true, we're giving this an editor's choice in part because the kinds of people who are taking the kinds of images that would be taken with this aren't usually working in high ISO circumstances, right?
Yeah, and if you're a Phase One customer, you are in a niche already. So this is the best Phase One I've seen for color. The IQ, if you have the standard IQ 300 megapixel or IQ 100 megapixel, and you're mulling an upgrade, I would say not. I don't think the advantages are worth that unless you get a good trade-in deal on your current gear. But if you are using an older sensor, a 50 megapixel CMOS, or even an older CCD sensor, and you're looking to get something more modern, and you want to go for broke, you might as well go for broke.
Because you will be broke after going for this.
Or not, or you'll be making tons of money from your high-end gigs and print sales.
You got to spend money to make money, and this is where you spend the money to make the money.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So if we have no more questions, then thank you all for watching. This has been, and I'm scrolling down to get the headline again, the Phase One IQ3 Trichromatic, a 4.5-star editor's choice camera for professional users because it does cost $50,000.
Right, and we should just end this saying, if you are interested, if you're someone who's watching and says, wow, this is a great camera, but I can never afford it, I want medium, but I want to get interested in medium format, we do have editor's choice at the kind of $6,000 price range, which is the Fujifilm Gfx 50S. It's a mirrorless camera. It uses an image sensor that is smaller. It's about 2/3 the size surface area wise, and it's a 50 megapixel sensor versus 100. However, that is a way for someone who is, a professional, but who's interested in adding medium format to their kit, but doesn't quite have the clients that justify the Phase One price.
Okay, great. Well, thank you all for watching. This has been One Cool Thing with PCMag.com. If you're watching us on Facebook, please return at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We will have another cool thing with a live discussion. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Return to our YouTube page daily, 5 days a week, the weekdays, and we will have a One Cool Thing, a new one every day for you.